How does the show continue to get worse and worse every single week? How? Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the AEW Dynamite review. Dynamite tonight was from the Fishers Event Center in Fishers, Indiana. And Dynamite just ended, and what an awful show this was, in my opinion. I don't know, like I said, how this show continues to get worse and worse every single week. It's like Tony Khan is doing what he wants on the show. They do it for Tony. That's all there is. Oh, fuck the fans. Oh, we're going to only do it for Tony Khan. And that's what AEW Creative has, been so far. And this show, every week, feels like a chore to sit through because of the laziness in AEW Creative. Seriously, Creative needs to get better. It really does. Because everybody's tuning out of Dynamite. The ratings have gone downhill, and people are just tired of the creative that AEW has been given. But tonight on Dynamite, we had the Continental Classic matches. We had Kyle Fletcher versus Shelton Benjamin. They are in the blue league of the Continental Classic. We had a Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal to determine, who will face MJF for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Yeah, a jobber battle royal it was. Then we had Swerve Strickland. He had taken on Max Caster of the Acclaimed. Jay White, Switchblade. Jay White was in action, and he had taken on Pac. We had Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford. Did I give a shit? And then in the main event, it was Claudio Castagnoli versus Brody King in the AEW Continental Classic for the Gold League. Yeah, this was Dynamite tonight. Overall, awful show this was. This show sucks. This show needs to get better, like I said, in creative, and they need to start listening to the fans, although they don't want to. They do what's best for Tony Khan. That's their motto. But anyway, let's jump right into the review. Dynamite opened up tonight with the Continental Classic, the Blue League. Kyle Fletcher facing Shelton Benjamin. Kyle Fletcher ended up having 3 points in the last match that he had. Shelton Benjamin also has, 3 points. But this was a good match here, in my opinion. And the match started off with Kyle Fletcher and Shelton Benjamin. They were circling the canvas. They ended up locking up. Don Callis was on commentary. He was the special guest commentator, of course, because Kyle Fletcher is part of the Don Callis family, so he had to be out there, Mr. Don Callis. So Shelton Benjamin ended up taking Fletcher into the corner. We had Fletcher and Benjamin. They both started circling again, and it led to another lockup between the both of them. Fletcher ended up being shoved into the corner by Shelton Benjamin as the crowd there in Fishers were chanting, "Fletcher sucks." So Fletcher ended up getting Benjamin in a side headlock. He then mocked the crowd. He was then sent into the ropes by Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin ended up dropping Fletcher with a shoulder tackle. Fletcher got back up to his feet, and the crowd was behind Shelton Benjamin here. They were chanting, "Let's go, Shelton." So Fletcher ended up being down on Shelton Benjamin. He ended up sending Shelton Benjamin to the corner with a flurry of strikes. So the ref had to intervene as Fletcher ended up backing away. Fletcher was then dropped with a lariat by Shelton Benjamin, which forced Fletcher to roll out of the ring to take a breather. So Shelton Benjamin ended up calling for Kyle Fletcher to get back into the ring. And the crowd was letting Fletcher know that Will Ospreay's better. So we had Kyle Fletcher end up getting to the apron. Shelton Benjamin ended up responding by mocking Fletcher from the ropes. Fletcher ended up getting back into the ring. And once again, both guys end up locking up. Shelton Benjamin ended up breaking his hold on Fletcher. And he had given Fletcher a chop. Both guys locked up again. A lot of lockups here from both Shelton Benjamin and Kyle Fletcher. So Shelton Benjamin ended up getting the upper hand. He ended up bringing Fletcher down to the canvas. Fletcher got to his feet. Shelton Benjamin ended up charging towards Fletcher. And both guys ended up crashing to the outside. Ended up crashing down to the floor. And then Dynamite went to commercial. Of course, we saw the picture-in-picture. So we had both guys end up getting back to their feet as Dynamite came back from the commercial. Both guys were trading strikes in the middle of the ring. Fletcher ended up getting Benjamin into the ropes. Benjamin turned things around, which sent Fletcher to the outside. Shelton then ended up leaving the ring. He ended up sending Fletcher into the steel steps. And then he got back into the ring. So the ref started to count. And Benjamin ended up leaving the ring to go after Fletcher. So Fletcher ended up shoving Shelton Benjamin into the ring post. So Kyle Fletcher ended up getting into the ring. The ref started to count. Benjamin ended up managing to get back into the ring as the ref counted to 8. And that led Kyle Fletcher to roll up Shelton Benjamin, to which Benjamin ended up kicking out. So Fletcher ended up catching Shelton Benjamin with a kick to his gut, and then he delivered the Michinoku driver to Shelton. Fletcher ended up going for the cover, and Shelton Benjamin ended up kicking out. Shelton Benjamin caught Fletcher with a kick, which took him back down to the canvas. Shelton Benjamin started fighting back. He ended up hitting a powerbomb to Fletcher. He ended up going for the cover, to which Fletcher kicked out, and Shelton Benjamin ended up transitioning that into a modified, STF. So the crowd was chanting for Fletcher to tap out, but unfortunately, Fletcher ended up grabbing the bottom rope, forcing the break. So at the end of the match, we had Shelton Benjamin end up delivering some German suplexes to Fletcher, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Fletcher ended up kicking out. Benjamin ended up getting caught by Fletcher on the canvas. Fletcher ended up rolling up Shelton Benjamin, but Fletcher ended up grabbing the ropes for leverage to score his win. So Kyle Fletcher ended up winning the match. He now scores 3 more points in the tournament. So he has a total of 6 points now. But overall, good match it was between Kyle Fletcher and Shelton Benjamin. A lot of lockups in this match, but the wrestling from both Shelton Benjamin and Fletcher, was good. And Shelton Benjamin and the Hurt Syndicate, they are the only good things that I like about Dynamite. And also along with MJF. So I think, the Hurt Syndicate are the more interesting group on Dynamite. How long until Tony Khan decides to stop pushing the Hurt Syndicate? So then, as the match ended, we had a video package highlighting the first week of the Continental Classic, and Juice Robinson has been removed from the Continental Classic because he got injured on Collision that we saw on Saturday. So taking Juice Robinson's place is none other than Commander. So Commander is going to be taking Juice Robinson's place. And it also showcased in this video package Okada and Danny Garcia's match, which led to a draw So, but I watched that match on Collision this past Saturday, and I thought that was a very good match between Okada and Danny Garcia, but ended in a draw. And then we saw Hook. Hook ended up making his way out. He was going to address the patriarchy. So Hook ended up calling out Christian Cage for a fight at the Hammerstein Ballroom because Ring of Honor and AEW are going to be at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Ring of Honor Final Battle is going to take place on the 20th at Hammerstein Ballroom. Collision is going to take place on the 21st. It's going to be live. And they're going to be taping Dynamite and Rampage the next day on the 22nd. So when we see that match, it's going to be on that taped Dynamite from the Hammerstein Ballroom on the 22nd. But I won't be there. I'm not attending the show. And we had Hook end up saying that he's willing to fight Nick Wayne right here, right now. So that brought out Christian Cage. And Christian Cage ended up coming out with Shayna Wayne. And this led to Hook being blindsided by Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne in the ring. Christian Cage then entered the ring to join the beatdown with Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne. And we had the Patriarchy end up grabbing a pair of steel chairs. And they were setting up Hook for a concerto. So the Patriarchy ended up standing over Hook. We had them target the left hand of Hook. So Christian Cage started running Hook down. And pretty much that was basically that. And did I care? No. I did not care what the hell was going on here. And then we had Renee Paquette. Renee Paquette was backstage. She ended up talking to Mercedes Moné about what happened to Camille last week. Because Camille ended up turning on Mercedes. So Mercedes ended up telling Renee that Camille quit. So what happened to her after is none of her concern. So she ended up saying that Anna Jay is sticking her nose in her business. So pretty much that was basically that. Mercedes was saying she's going to keep an eye on Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford. And she ended up reminding the ladies that there is a price to pay when you mess with her, with Mercedes. Mercedes is just so cringe on the mic, in my opinion. So then as Dynamite came back from the commercial, we had MVP. MVP ended up giving out to Shelton Benjamin about his performance tonight to remind him that they hurt people. So we had just some stagehand guy walk by, and the stagehand became a target of the Hurt Syndicate. So Shelton Benjamin started beating down on this stagehand, and pretty much that was basically that. They continued to establish that they do in fact hurt people. So pretty much that was that. But like I said, the Hurt Syndicate is the only entertaining thing, aside from MJF, on Dynamite. And then we had the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal, the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal, the Dynamite Dozen Jobber Battle Royal. I cannot give two fucks with what happened in this match. I really don't. You had Evil Uno, Adam Cole in it. Evil Uno and Adam Cole end up going at it. Mark Davis was in it. You had Lance Archer, Brian Cage in it. Top Flight, Action Andretti, Leo Rush. You had The Butcher. Yeah, some entertaining battle royal this was. But in the end, we had Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly win it. And O'Reilly ended up managing to eliminate Brian Cage and Lance Archer. So Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly will be facing next week at Winter is Coming. And the winner will get to face MJF for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. So that was that. Did not care about this Battle Royal. So then we had Julia Hart. Julia Hart, this was a video package. She ended up saying that she has her sights set on Jamie Hayter. So there you go. Julia Hart has her eye on Jamie Hayter, and that's going to be Julia Hart's opponent when she makes her return. And then we had the Acclaimed. Billy Gunn ended up having some harsh words for Max Caster and Max Caster's attitude as of late. So Bowens ended up telling Caster if he's the best wrestler alive to go prove it tonight against Swerve Strickland. So that was when we saw Max Caster versus Swerve Strickland. So Swerve ended up making his way to the ring, of course accompanied by Prince Nana. So Max Caster came out. Max Caster delivered a rap to Swerve. Swerve then responded by taking Caster out to the floor. He brought Caster back into the ring, and the match got underway. So Swerve ended up continuing to beat down Max Caster in and out of the ring. We had Swerve end up taking Caster out with a house call 3 times. 3 house calls to Max Caster. Swerve ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Swerve Strickland ended up winning the match. Overall, this was just a quick match to me. So post-match, instead of Swerve leaving the ring, he ended up setting Max Caster up for a Swerve stomp. And then he started running down Bobby Lashley, and pretty much that was basically that. And then, as Dynamite came back from the commercial, we saw MJF. MJF ended up responding to what went down in the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. And Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly winning the Battle Royal. And them facing each other next week on Dynamite. Winter is Coming. So MJF ended up talking about Better Than You, Baby, and how popular him and Adam Cole were. MJF then addressed Cole's mission of revenge, leading to what has happened with the likes of Jon Moxley winning the AEW World Championship. MJF ended up saying that Adam Cole thinks he's the hero, but MJF ended up insisting that Adam Cole is the villain. He ended up saying that at World's End, what happens is something Adam Cole can thank him later for. And pretty much basically, MJF was saying, Kyle O'Reilly must now fight his best friend. So I thought it was a, decent, promo from MJF here. And I'm like, MJF is doing like these, promos, but, he's not even in the arena. Even MJF doesn't want to be in the arena. I don't blame him for how badly creative is in AEW. And then we had Jay White. He ended up taking on Pac. And this was a solid match here. So Wheeler Yuta was at ringside. And we had the match end up getting the way with Pac getting the upper hand on Jay White. So Jay White ended up nearly catching Pac with a Blade Runner, which forced Pac to leave the ring to take a breather. So Pac ended up briefly chatting with Wheeler Yuta, as the ref began to count. Pac ended up quickly getting back to the ring, and Jay White ended up going right back at Pac. Pac started turning things around. He ended up sending Jay White into the ropes. Jay White ended up heading to the ropes, and he managed to send Pac to the outside. We had Pac end up sending Jay White into the ring steps. Pac then ended up going back on the attack on Jay White. He ended up sending Jay White into the crowd of the barricade. So then Dynamite went to commercial. And then when Dynamite came back from the commercial, Jay White was in control of the match. Jay White ended up catching Pac with a half-and-half suplex, sending him into the turnbuckle. Pac got back to his feet, but Jay White ended up laying in some chops to Pac, and he ended up countering a lariat into a snap DDT. So Jay White ended up going for the cover, to which Pac ended up kicking out. So Pac left the ring, but Jay White ended up quickly following him out of the ring. Jay White ended up bringing Pac into the ring. Jay White ended up staying on top of Pac. He ended up going for the cover, to which Pac ended up kicking out. So Pac got to his feet in the corner. Jay White ended up charging at Pac, and Pac delivered a boot to Jay White. Pac ended up heading up to the top rope for a black arrow. Jay White then rolled out of the way. He ended up going for the Blade Runner, to which Pac countered that into some kicks to Jay White. Jay White caught Pac with a half-and-half suplex. So Pac managed to avoid the first half-and-half suplex, but he ended up getting caught with a second half-and-half suplex. Jay White was going for the Blade Runner, but Pac countered that into a standing brutalizer on Jay White. So at the end of the match, we had Pac end up backing away because he ended up locking in a submission on Jay White. Wheeler Yuta ended up pulling Jay White out of the ring for a sneak attack, and the ref didn't even see that. So Pac was trying to take advantage of the distraction, and Jay White ended up delivering the Blade Runner to Pac. So Jay White ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Jay White ended up winning the match. Post-match, Wheeler Yuta, he ended up trying to go after Jay White, but he was taken down with a Blade Runner from Jay White. Marina Shafir came into the ring. Marina Shafir started staring Jay White down. And Jay White was then blindsided out of nowhere by Jon Moxley. Moxley started beating down on Jay White, and it culminated into a Death Rider to Jay White, which sent Jay White down to the mat. So out came Hangman and Page. Page and Moxley started staring each other down, and we had some random person behind Moxley. So that person turned out to be Orange Cassidy. We haven't seen Orange Cassidy since Full Gear, but Orange Cassidy was choking Moxley with a camera cable. So Marina Shafir intervened, and Marina Shafir was being fended off by Orange Cassidy. So Hangman Page and Jay White ended up turning their attention to Moxley. Orange Cassidy ended up taking Moxley down, and then Jay White ended up taking Moxley down. Page ended up bringing things to a head with a buckshot lariat to Moxley, which forced Moxley out of the ring to regroup with the Death Riders. So Christian Cage was on the stage with his contract in hand. And pretty much that was basically that, but I was confused about this. I'm like, who is the babyface and who is the heel? Because Hangman Page, he was the heel, and all of a sudden now he's a babyface? I'm like, what are they doing here? This was so fucking confusing here. Like, oh, who is the babyface? And who is the heel here in this situation? Like, Jon Moxley's the heel, and all of a sudden, Hangman Page is a babyface? Even though he was a heel? Oh my God. AEW Creative, what are you doing? So then we had a video package hyping up World's End. So we saw that, and we went backstage to hear from Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter ended up addressing Julia Hart's message, calling her out, insisting that Jamie Hayter came back to sell scores, and that has nothing to do with Julia Hart. So Jamie Hayter ended up addressing the International Women's Cup and what she wants to do with that. She ended up calling Julia Hart out for a match, saying on her comeback, she'll be laid out in the middle of the ring. And the last thing that Julia Hart will see is her, Jamie Hayter. But when Julia Hart ends up, coming back into the ring, she's definitely going to win that match. Jamie Hayter is not winning it. They're going to give the win to Julia Hart. Why have Julia Hart come back and then have her lose a match, if that's going to be the case, to Jamie Hayter? I sense that Julia Hart is getting the win over Jamie Hayter when that match happens. No question about it. Now we have Chris Jericho. Jesus Christ. Jericho. God. Are we all sick of seeing Jericho every single week on TV with the learning tree? It is awful. Absolutely awful. To the point that it's overkill with the learning tree being on TV. So Jericho ended up giving us a New York Minute. This was what we're going to do here in New York City. Just Jericho explaining that. So Jericho ended up revealing that he will be on Ring of Honor on Honor Club tomorrow night to address who faces the Nueve at Ring of Honor Final Battle at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Who watches Ring of Honor? Obviously, probably no one. But yeah, Jericho's wearing a cowboy hat. God. Thanks, guys. And then we had Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford. Did I even care? Obviously, no. Anna Jay ended up winning the match. We had Anna Jay end up bringing up Penelope Ford on her back, and Anna Jay ended up sending Penelope Ford crashing down to the canvas. That was how Anna Jay won. Post-match, Anna Jay got on the mic from ringside, and she called out Mercedes Moné, since she knows the champ was watching. So Mercedes Moné ended up coming out. Mercedes got on the mic. She ended up saying that if Chris Statlander couldn't beat her for the TBS Championship, who's to say that Anna Jay can? So Mercedes ended up saying that she likes the courage. So if Anna Jay wants to challenge for the TBS Championship, she can come back in 10 years when she's done something to earn a shot, kiddo. So Anna Jay ended up asking if this helps. So Anna Jay then slapped Mercedes in the face, and it led to a little brawl between Anna Jay and Mercedes. And pretty much that was basically that. We got a graphic confirming that the match is set for, Holiday Bash in 2 weeks from the Hammerstein Ballroom. So we're going to see that. And then as Dynamite came back from the commercial, we saw Mariah May. Mariah May was being interviewed. She started running down Renee Paquette. She ended up addressing giving her friend Mina Shirakawa a shot at the AEW Women's World Championship. Mariah ended up saying that she promises Mina that after the match, they'll sip all the champagne in the world. So Mina Shirakawa was shown in the background. She approached Mariah May with a bottle of the bubbly, but no, not Not Chris Jericho's, a little bit of the bubbly. God, I miss that Jericho when he used to do that. A little bit of the bubbly. So Mariah ended up telling Mina to do what she did at Full Gear to her face. So we had Mariah end up backing away. She ended up saying, "Winter is coming. Make me walk." As Mariah May ended up staring down at Mina Shirakawa. So that was basically that. But two, friends going at it. Two former friends going at it. But overall, it was just meh, in my opinion. Main event. Claudio Castagnoli versus Brody King. This was in the AEW Continental Classic. This was for the Gold League, which Claudio and Brody King are in. Claudio have 3 points, and Brody King had 3 points as well. And this was a decent match here. Match ended up getting on the way. Both guys ended up blocking up. Claudio caught Brody with a side headlock. Brody ended up fighting out, and we had both guys end up trading strikes to each other. Claudio ended up getting the upper hand, but he was fought off by Brody with some clubbing forearms. And Brody ended up sending Claudio into the corner for a chop. So we had Brody end up taking Claudio to the second corner for, another chop. But Claudio started to fight his way out. Claudio ended up following up with some right hands to Brody. He ended up hitting the ropes, and we had Brody end up dropping Claudio down. Brody ended up going for the cover, and Claudio ended up kicking out. Claudio got to his feet. He ended up sending Brody into the corner, and Claudio was targeting Brody's right arm. He ended up setting Brody's arm against the ring post, and then Dynamite went to commercial. Then when Dynamite came back from the commercial, Brody King was in control of the match. He ended up walloping Claudio with a forearm. Brody followed that up with a chop. He ended up catching Claudio with a Death Valley driver, to which he ended up going for the cover, to which Claudio kicked out. Brody then ended up hitting the ropes, but he was caught by Claudio, and Claudio delivered a pop-up uppercut to Brody. Claudio then ended up going for the cover, to which Brody kicked out. Claudio then ended up charging at Brody in the corner. He ended up taking Brody down with a Death Valley driver. He then went for the cover, and we had Brody end up kicking out. So Claudio transitioned that near fall into a hammer and anvil elbow to Brody King. So Brody King ended up fighting Claudio off with a lariat. Brody King ended up going for the cover, to which Claudio kicked out. So at this point, both Claudio and Brody were fighting their way back to their feet. They were delivering chops and forearm strikes. Brody ended up sending Claudio into the corner. He then ended up sending Claudio to the opposite corner. Brody then charged at Claudio, and he followed up with a running cannonball to Claudio. So Brody ended up going for the cover. Claudio ended up kicking out. So both guys were trading strikes. Brody caught Claudio with a lariat. He ended up going for the cover, to which Claudio ended up kicking out. Claudio ended up catching Brody's arm on the top rope to turn things around. Claudio ended up going up to the top, but he was caught by Brody. And Brody delivered a superplex off the top, which sent both guys back into the middle of the ring. Very good superplex by Brody there. Brody ended up getting Claudio up for a pile driver, and Brody ended up going for the cover, to which Claudio kicked out. So at the end of the match, we had Brody end up catching Claudio for a near fall, and Claudio ended up fighting out of a Gonzo bomb, and he distracted the ref, and Claudio ended up low blowing Brody King. So after that low blow to Brody King, Claudio ended up hitting the neutralizer to Brody. He ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Claudio Castagnoli ended up winning the match. He now scores 3 more points, so Claudio has 6 points now. So post-match, Claudio ended up escaping the ring to celebrate, and Claudio will now face Will Ospreay next week, which that should be a good match on Winter is Coming. And then we're also going to see Jay White and Orange Cassidy versus Pac and Wheeler Yuta. So that's set for next week's Dynamite. Winter is Coming. And pretty much that was how Dynamite went off the air. Overall, decent match between Brody and Claudio here. But this show just is awful. This show continues to get worse and worse every single week. And they won't do nothing about it. What they please Tony Khan is what Tony Khan is going to get. But anyway, that's it for tonight's Dynamite. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And until next video, I'll see you all later.